If you want to get the top odds every time, bet with Top Sport's Same Game Multi. Top Sport. Feel the excitement.
Gamble responsibly.
The penultimate round has come and gone, and we're now left with a far less superior name of just the final round. But welcome back to another edition of the Same Game Multi podcast. As I said, it is the final round of the regular season and some cracking games to boot, so we cannot wait to get into this. Joining me, full run-on side, man to my left, Mr. Matthew Mark Cherry in the high vis. How are you, buddy?
Sensational, boys. How we going?
Good. How's the week been?
Long, busy, hard.
Due
for a beer.
On the downhill run now. So
Yes, hump day's over.
And Mr. Jared Burton, the Burtman.
Boys, how are we?
Fighting fit, mate. Fighting fit as a fiddle.
And looking at...
Thanks, mate. I've been working out, but a few squats.
There was some sarcasm in there too.
Oh,
if you didn't
okay.
notice.
I thought you were noticing all the squats I've been doing on the way in, but anyway, not to worry.
Squatting on what?
We're usually joined by our main man up north, Tristan Merlihan, to give us a bit of a market update, but unfortunately he's gone down with a bit of a flu up there, so I think it might be the I live in Queensland flu, so I'm just going to kind of have a sick day. But anyway, we'll hopefully get in touch with him again next week, and he'll give us a bit of a market update. But we've got some great games we're going to preview for round 25, as I said, last round of the regular season. And it's probably the last regular season round in a while where it's actually meant something, I think. Usually the last few years, you might have had maybe a top four kind of playing out there, but this is actually for a top 8 spot as well with Canberra and Brisbane. So some pivotal games there, but also within the top 4 and who gets that home ground advantage as well. So
Yeah, depending on what sides do what this weekend, there could be some severe consequences. Sides missing out on 2 bites of the cherry, sides playing for a home game, and sides missing out on finals. So should be a good weekend, actually.
2 bites of the cherry. You've had a girlfriend that's done that, I believe.
Definitely.
Oh, cheers.
But before we get into that, we're going to hit you with our top of that moment of the round. So for me, boys, I'll kick it off. So a moment from last week's games that I really liked was Jason Tamalolo, and the hit he put on Tavita Totola, I think it was, and the whiplash. He actually had a HIA conducted on him because of the fucking whiplash. But you see the slow-mo replay, and it's the one where the head goes and you can see all the sweat and the water come off the hair, a bit like the Sonny Bill Clint from the Panthers. What was his name? You know what I'm talking about?
Gutherson. No.
Back in the day. So it was good to see. Massive hit. JT, he's not really known for his big hits, more so his attack. Joel
Clinton.
Joel Clinton, there you go. Yeah, our powers combined. But yeah, that was it for me, boys. How about yourself?
I've gone Corey Horsburgh and Ricky Stewart combining for a bit of a laugh there too. Did you hear about that?
No.
So they said something about Corey Horsburgh's hairdo. He was just clean shaven.
Yes, I did see it.
Then they asked Ricky Stewart's what his comments were. Ricky Stewart's gone full circle from calling someone a dog. He's turned around in the conference. He said it's better than the shit that he had on his head before. So mate, I just don't understand that bloke. But I like those sort of comments, and I like Horsburgh. He's playing some terrific football at the moment.
You still have the red eyebrows?
Yeah, he still had the weird gingy bloody mo with the chin, nothing joining. And then he had just a smooth. And the problem was it was about as wide as that, yeah. So there was no sun on that anyway.
He'll have 3 sun cancers removed next week.
Yeah, so for Ricky Stewart to say it's better than the shit he had on his head before. So,
what about yourself, mate?
Mine's another hit. Old Mr. Justice Olam, tough as nails he is. But the hitman got one on him on the weekend. Big Victor Radley bounced off him like a bloody ping pong ball. He did.
Did see that.
And then not long after that, Radley had that bad tackle. But no, that was a great hit. And I forget who there was another player went up in the stands at the end of the game. Junior Paulo. Yeah, went up there and said hello to the kid that was up there watching in the wheelchair. That was good to see as well. So
good shout.
Considering he climbed 50, 60 flight of stairs to get up there after playing 60 minutes of football. So
yeah. And that wouldn't make that kid's life,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so good shout. Very good, boys. That's all the good stuff out of the way. Now we'll get to the bad, and we'll do our
You are off. Don't talk to me. Just
send off for the round. What pissed you off last week? Anything?
Lots. No, football wise, I I had a bit of a turbulent weekend, so I didn't really watch too much football, but I can't really complain too much, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
That's a first.
I was going to say, fuck, first time for everything, but anyway.
Might seem biased, but the Cameron Munster elbow incident.
Yeah, who was that on?
Sam Walker.
Sam Walker, yeah, okay. Yeah.
What about the hip drop?
Well, yeah, no. That was, yeah.
Completely missed as well.
Yeah.
Felice Kafusi.
Felice Kafusi's hip drop that was completely missed.
Yeah.
That wasn't so much, or it was the actual elbow itself, but what happened afterwards with the excuses of him not getting a penalty, and the rest were going back to have a look at it. And they come up with this conclusion that it wasn't forceful and it hit him around the chest and shoulder area.
A bit like when he kicked, remember he was kicking everyone there a couple of years ago, Cameron Munster in the grand final and then the State of Origin. And
I was listening to the Big Sports Breakfast the other morning, and I think it was Buzz Rothfield was going off his nut about it.
I think I tuned in for that too, and they said something about the young Warriors player that had his teeth broken a couple of weeks ago, but nothing was done.
And they were saying if tackles like that can occur without a penalty, what's going to happen then? And then whoever he was talking to said, well, it should be a penalty. He said, and I said, no, you should be gone.
Yeah, what's the difference between that and someone running the ball and you hit them high with forceful?
That's exactly right.
Young Dragons player last week was sent for it. So
it just seems like they're trying to look after him for the finals, maybe, perhaps, and
it wouldn't surprise me.
Give them a thing. But that was mine anyway.
Mine comes
the
from
main one of about 6 things anyway.
Yeah, mine comes from that same game, and it's big Nelson, the Sofa Solomona, and the elbows and that he's coming down with. I love the stuff with Jared and all that kind of stuff. That should have actually been on my top that moment. But yeah, that dirty grub play when he's coming down with those elbows, I think he hit Sualihi with one or glanced him. I don't know if he did get him, he would have been down a lot longer. But as we said, did it a few weeks ago with Wade Egan for the Warriors. Smashed 2 teeth. And gets a fine, you know what I mean? So there's been a lot of talk about it all week that he should be getting a suspension. He's had like 19 charges in the last 4 years or something like that, and only missed 5 matches or whatever it might be.
Protected.
But yeah, it was. I feel a bit the same, mate. Maybe protecting for the finals, but
yeah. And then because he was asking for that, like for something to happen to him.
Yeah.
For a good 10-15 minutes, he was just like he was after something.
Yeah.
So and then that's when Jared gave him a bit of the old love peck.
Yeah.
And then he lied down till he got the call, then it's back up again.
Straight up, yeah.
Kurt Capewell 2.0.
Which is trash. The way I see it, if you stay down, you go off.
Yep.
There might have been one in the
and he actually hit him with his face, like his mouth.
It was a bit of a Liverpool kiss, but it was actually a kiss, wasn't it?
Yeah, he kissed him. Yeah.
Very good. Well, that's got that off our chest at least. So hopefully you feel a bit more refreshed now. Yeah, a bit free of the tension that was building. Very good. We're smashing through this. Obviously, we usually got Tristo. We usually just get our market update, but we will hit our beer of the week nice and early for the punters out there. They can head on down while they're listening and get a 6-pack of the new ale that we've been gifted from Mr. Hawkeye from the Whitebull Hotel. Great sponsors of the show each and every week. What is it, lads, and how does it taste?
Colonial Pale Ale Brewing Co. I think they actually made this back in the colonial times by the taste of it. It's a bit different. I don't know.
Now this was one I believe there's a new one in down at Whitebull. They got this in. I'm going to say especially for us, seeing we've dumped them out. Yep. Probably not, but we'll claim it. So hopefully it's a good stubby rating, boys.
It's very fruity, but with the aftertaste, it backs off.
Yeah.
And then it's just, I don't know.
It's not overly sharp, but it's present. Definitely.
It's almost got like a real watery finish. It's real strong to start with, and then it sort of waters down at the back of the palate. But
you were saying earlier, Jared, as fruity as an Elton John World Tour.
Yeah. Elton John's World Tour with George Michael. So she might have got a bit pineapple-y there. So it's not too bad. It's something that I probably wouldn't drink regularly, but if you're looking for something for a little bit different, mix it up a little bit for a fortnight or so, by all means get down and get a couple of these. I've got a shout out too. I'm going to shout it out with this, right? So, Joshy Urquhart, I've coached him for years and years. It's in soccer or football, whichever way you want to say it. He now plays with he's our first grade centre mid, so he's climbing through the ranks. He's just turned 18 too. Brother, go down to the Whitebull, get yourself a 4-pack of them, mate, and see what you think anyway. So there's a shout out. At the same time, I actually give him some merch on the weekend. That's why I give him a shout out. Because he came up to me. He's a big listener. Actually, his old man, Justin Urquhart, I think he's second on our footy tipping. So
Roosters supporter too.
Yes. Yeah, fucking
another one. Fucking everywhere.
It's a can. It's easily things on my mind.
Been a while, mate.
Accessible. I'm going to give it 2.5.
2.5. Not bad for a first attempt.
I can't be that generous. I'm going to have to go with a nice even 2.
Just a 2.
That was with the 0.5 bonus in there as well.
Do you get the sort of feeling that if you had, say, if you got a 6 of them and you're about 4 through, they'd be better? Is it one of those sort of beers that you have to sip? Like you have to have 3, you can't just have one and go, oh, yeah.
Grows
like
on
if you have like 4 or 5, because it's not as rank as some, like this one here. It
can be worse.
That is, I was still in the can. That's the one
that was about a month ago.
Yeah.
I actually,
it's terrible.
Those cans, because those ones come in a 4-pack, so there was those 2 cans left in the fridge. I sat down to watch the footy that Friday night. It took me a whole game to drink 2 cans.
Wow. That's probably a good thing.
I was going to say, you should go back and get some more, mate.
I could usually knock over about, I don't know, 4 or 5 stubbies during the first half. Not with those.
Next time the Garbos do a bad job, just leave a 4-pack.
Merry Christmas, you dogs.
I tell you what, boys, the old Colonial Brewing Company didn't blow the budget on the on the graphic design there for the can.
No.
She's pretty
home
plain.
brand, isn't it?
No frills.
It's a bit
Pick it up at Franklin's.
Nothing wrong with that, I suppose. What is there? A couple of lions brawling each other in front of a star.
Fantastic. But if you do like that kind of fruity beer, get on down to the Whitebull, support a local business if you are in the Armadale area. If you're not, head on down there if you are travelling through. Great spot to stop. See Hawkeye and the crew, Benny, down there as well. They'll fix you up. Let them know you listen to the show. We might take a quick little break, boys, and then come back and hit a couple of games and get through the weekend. What do you reckon?
Sounds good.
All right, we'll catch you on the other side.
Having a bet on sport this week? Top this.
Whether you're into cricket and curling or golf and greyhounds, Top Sport will let you on for plenty. And with literally hundreds of markets from your own backyard to the international stage, Top Sport has you well covered. So if you want to get the top odds every time, bet with Top Sport.
Top that. Download the app today. Top Sport. Feel the excitement.
Don't let the game play you. Stay in control. Gamble responsibly.
All right, we're back. We're going to talk a bit of footy and some cracking games this week. And as I mentioned before, and kicking us off on Thursday night, this should be a beauty. Eels up against Storm, Thursday, 7:50pm at CommBank Stadium. Now, the Top Sport market here, the Eels are just the outsiders, $1.99, $1.84 are the Storm, the favourites here. The line is set at a small 1.5, though, so going to be fairly close. Get the Eels at $1.85 at the plus or Storm at $1.95 at the minus. Should be a cracking game, boys. Eels were good last week. Storm were good in a beaten side. Roosters were too strong for them. Thoughts on this game?
I think it'll be a big grind. I think it'll be massive battle through the middle of the field. Whoever can match whoever, then it'll rely on the backs. And then I think you'll find your Jerome Hughes, particularly your running sixes, for example. So it'll be a massive battle between Munster and Dylan Brown. I think that'll be where it'll happen. So, because I think the forward packs are very similar, big men, and they charge and they play big minutes. So I think it'll be fairly similar there. They're very, very good defensive through the middle of the field. So I think it'll come down to those, big name players. Munster.
Yeah. I mean, you talk about Munster. He's named at 6, but last few weeks, as we know, he's been switching that fullback position. So keep an eye on how that plays out and whether he does play in that six role.
That'd be extremely difficult to try and prepare for. So if you prepare all week for Munster playing 6, even if he has, say, a 10-minute stint at fullback, then comes back into the line, you sort of then got to prep yourself. So whoever comes in, you've then got to prep yourself for them. So you can't necessarily work all week planning that Munster's going to be playing 6. If he plays a stint at 7, then or at 1 rather, then you focus on their 7, or who do you focus on then? You got Brandon Smith who can ball play. You got players like Brandon Smith, Harry Grant, Jerome Hughes, Nick Meaney. If he's playing fullback, what happens to him? Does he then come up and play 6 in the line? So it's very, very, very.
It's a bit of a masterstroke
100%.
by Bellamy, and who would have thought with Pappenhausen being out that something like this could spark their season.
Exactly right. Yeah,
be interesting to see if Big Nelson, the sofa salamander, has a bit of a niggle at the big boys too, Paulo and Papali. I reckon he'll might be a bit quieter from last week's result, I think.
Yeah. The risk is they're going to get suspended. So, there's that very fine line where,
last round.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't want him to get suspended for 2 weeks leading into the finals because you could go out in straight sets.
Absolutely.
So I think he probably would have been, told just to rein that in a little bit. Keep that aggression there, but just don't take it over the edge. And, it might be the case that if Bellamy sees that that's happening, he might hook him off and give him a little 10-minute break or something like that to calm him down. But, yeah, I'm with you, Berto. I think it'll be sort of up front, be very defensive game to start with, probably for the first 60, 65 minutes, and then we might see some late points scored depending on which team tires and as you said, either Jerome Hughes, Cam Munster, or Dylan Brown, or even Gutherson, sort of through that middle third, as they like to call it, with a few tired forwards around that 65th, 70th minute mark that might open up. So I'm looking forward to it. Parramatta unchanged from last week. Why would you change a good thing? And just looking here for Melbourne Storm, so Tom Eisenhuth is obviously out with that ankle from that hip drop tackle. So Chris Lewis replaces him there on the bench. Kafusi's name to start with Kamikamitha also benched as well. So a few changes there. I'll tell you who's playing really good since he's come back, boys, Brendan Smith.
Yeah, really good. He seems to be... I just think he seems to be sharpened up. He gets that sort of larrikin
too.
Yeah, you see how he gets that sort of a larrikin sort of... perspective sort of thing. It seems as if he's slowly starting to...
He's honed in.
Yeah,
I think he's honed in.
So by all means, be the loony at training, off the field, etc. like that. But once it comes to the field, just be straight down the line. Just target.
Yeah, 100%.
There's a job to do.
Your multi, I believe.
Yeah, mate, my multi. I'm actually confident in Parramatta to win head-to-head. I can't get me fucking... There we go. Parramatta head-to-head. Micah Sevo always scores at Bankwest. David Nofaluma.
Combank, but it's okay.
Oh, what is it now?
Combank.
Yeah. Same difference, mate. At Paradise. I'll start again. Parramatta head-to-head. Sevo anytime. Nofaluma anytime. $7.16. I think it's too tricky. I don't want to be trying to pick overs and unders. And
keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah, exactly right.
How good's Sean Lane playing too? Big shout out to Sean Lane on that left edge. Fantastic. Just a monster. Gets that right arm free all the time. Ball out
the lane action.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to pick... I'm going to go Storm.
I'm going Para.
Yeah, I just can't tip Parramatta.
Mate, I support him. I know how you feel.
Moving on to Friday night, boys. Dogs, Manly. We won't spend too much time on this. Friday, 6 p.m. at Core Stadium. $1.48 for the Bulldogs, $2.65 Manly outsiders, 6.5 is the line. $1.95 at the minus for the Bulldogs, or $1.85 at the plus for Manly. Doesn't really have a bearing. Manly checked out after Rainbow Gate. Bulldogs have been playing well. They struggled the last couple of weeks. Quick thoughts, boys, and then we'll hit your multi, Berto, and move on to the next game.
Doggies are big favourites. I don't think they... far out. It's so hard to tip. This is a game that, depending on where you are on the ladder, this could make or break some money. Position-wise, I'm going to go Manly.
Manly, yeah, okay, right.
I'm going for the Dogs.
Manly got nothing to play for. They'll get it now. They'll play some razzle-dazzle. So do the Dogs, but...
The reason why I'm going to lean towards the Dogs is because of what you just said. Manly, they have checked out. You can just tell.
Yeah.
Absolutely woeful last week. That was shocking.
Yeah.
The good thing about the Dogs,
pretty much, and
they've got that mental sharpness. They seem to be different, the Dogs.
Yep.
Even though it's the last game, nothing to play for, but they'll still go out and have a crack and build that into next season.
Dylan Brown's just sort of just been lurking around, waiting to try and milk a penalty or something. Like Cherry Evans and Jakey Turbo, I think they're the only ones that have been trying to have a go. The rest of them were just
and Jakey Turbo's he's out as well. So
they've sort of tried to keep the side going, whereas the rest of the squads just sort of folded.
Yeah. That rainbow jersey gate, it's fractured the club, and their season went downhill. They had a chance to, if they beat the Roosters that night, they still would have been in contention for the top 8. And they only lost by, 4 or 8 points or something, or 10 points maybe.
20-10, I think it was.
And the Roosters didn't play good. So they were a good chance of winning that if they had their best players, and that's just sent them downhill. I'm going the Dogs. Your multi, though.
My multi, let's get through it. Karaz, anytime try scorer. Christian Tuipulotu, anytime try scorer. And I've gone Jeremy Marshall-King. I reckon he'll dart in from dummy half. A little barge from dummy half, close to the line, $12.07.
Ooh, crack the $10 barrier. I like it.
Karaz has still got the Shadow Warrior photo up too.
Still.
Doesn't,
yeah. Put that, it's like the NRL, just put it in the too hard basket.
Boys, now this one. It's Friday, 7:55 p.m. The new Allianz Stadium. Roosters up against South. Can't wait for this. Going to be a great clash. $1.80, the Roosters are the favourites here. $2 if you do like South. Not bad money there. 1.5 is the line. $1.90 each way. Roosters at the minus. South at the plus. This should be a cracker, boys. The old rivals coming toe-to-toe in the new arena, but the old grudges are still going to be there.
I just want it to be a close game. I just don't want a blowout. I just want, like, at the same time, someone wins convincingly, say by 13 plus, but I just don't want it to be a massive blowout. So, new arena, big crowd, big day for the Chooks. Ches, I'm going to go to Chooks.
Sold out.
Yeah. Now, I envisioned this game to being even money. I thought that would have been about
pretty close.
$1.90 each.
Pretty
Now, I think
close.
the only reason why that is because South didn't get their training run there at the stadium. They've been blocked.
Uncle.
So they haven't. That's why they're out of it, because they're not used to the grass there. I'm leaning towards the Chooks. We're really hitting the straps at the moment. We will be missing a few players, a few key players too. But in saying that, the boys have always bounced back, so I can't go against them.
I think this will be massive for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go through those outs for you. You got Radley, who's obviously got concussed last week. He's out. Tupu with his groin. Lindsay Collins out suspended for 4 games, or did he 3 games? Maybe 4. So that brings Takiao into the starting 13. And your boy, Momorowski, is named on the wing. I don't like that. No.
I don't like that. That just spells danger.
Momorowski on the wing and Drew Hutchison in the centre. That's where they're just struggling that little bit, aren't they, with those outside backs, the depth of that outside back. So, yeah, that's a bit of a concern for me personally.
Wonder what Mitch Orbison's doing. Is he
Hey,
available?
give him some boots. He'll be up in the crowd.
There you go.
Well, J-Moz might come back. That 2 and 3, that's the weak point. South know that. They're going to target that all night. I'd be inclined to have Adam Kieran there playing probably 3. He tackles a lot better than Momorowski, and have Manu playing back on that wing position for Tupou like he done the other night.
Well, I'd be interested to see how they line up, because generally it's Joey Manu and Joey Suoli'i. I think they'll move Manu across the other side, so he's defending with Momorowski, and so Hutchison's defending with Suoli'i. Just to tighten up a bit. But I could be wrong, but that's probably what I'd be doing. As for South boys, Damien Cook, he's not named, but with the COVID, but with the change of the isolation period, he could possibly play. Convenient that the Prime Minister's a Rabbitohs supporter.
Yep.
Campbell Graham is out. He's been great since he's come back from the
big stretch.
That busted jaw or cheekbone that he had. Jackson Paulo replaces him in the centres. And Nicarima, he's out of the bench as well. So a few changes for both sides, but still should be a cracking game. I think this will be very defence orientated, probably for the first half, I reckon. Maybe not so much the 60 minutes like that first game we spoke about, and then hopefully some points will come. Some good entertaining footy.
Just remind me, there's little talks of Jackson Paulo going to the Chooks.
Jackson, yes, yeah, I did read about that actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to you fellas having no money 6 months ago? Well, whatever.
Get tight.
Oh,
We're tight in the budgets at the moment. The accountants are working overtime.
Yeah, I bet they are.
This is a hard game for me, boys. I'm going the Roosters. I'm just going to go with the market here, I think.
Yeah, I've let the market influence me. Boys, I've gone Roosters head-to-head. Roosters 1.5 start. Total points over 44.5. Alex Johnson, anytime try scorer. Joseph Suoli'i, anytime try scorer. $7.62.
And you're going with the Roosters, mate? Or?
Definitely.
Didn't even bother asking. Should be a cracker, so tune in for that one. Warriors versus the Titans, Saturday 3 p.m. Mount Smart, last home game for the Warriors this year. I'm glad that they did get back there. They played half a dozen games over there, maybe 4 or 5. So great for the Warriors fans to be able to go there one last time this year after all the crap they've gone through the last couple of years. And that's made them the favourites here, $1.55. Titans, $2.50. Surprised me. Titans have been playing some good footy the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, they're so inconsistent.
Or better football.
Better football, yeah.
Last couple of
I wasn't
weeks.
laughing at that. I just remembered I was on the weekend. I was driving down to Hawkeye's location actually to pick up a box, a little package, and I was listening to the footy on the radio. And it was the Titans game, and the commentator said, "Oh, geez, they were looking forward to getting Sam Verrills next year. At least they'll have a decent 9." I thought, "Oh, wow, you can't really say that on live radio." Ouch.
You mentioned small package. That's something you're used to saying.
Yes, it is.
The line is set at 5.5, $1.90 each way here. The Warriors, the minus plus for the Titans. This actually surprised me. $2.50 for the Titans. I quite like that. As I said, they have been playing some better footy. They were pretty good last week. Obviously, the opposition hasn't been great at what they've been playing, but again, this is the Warriors, so not the greatest competition either. Home ground advantage for the Warriors there. A few return for the Warriors here too, boys. Aitken, Egan, Montoya, Berry all return. And just looking here for the Gold Coast Titans, Philip Sami returns after missing round 24, and Brian Kelly suspended, so he comes in for Brian Kelly. Thoughts on the game quickly, and your tip, and then who's multi?
Mine.
All right, yours. All right, hit us. Who you going, Berto? Thoughts? Anything?
Thoughts?
Thoughts? Yeah, you got any
thoughts.
Hopefully the old Roger Shuey Vasacek will be there too.
Yeah, Roger Shuey Vasa.
Yeah, for the last round.
Aaron Woods cross looking gentleman. I think the Warriors will be good at home. I think this will be massive last hit out. It'll be huge crowd. And as much as they don't have anything to play for, I think being their last home game, they do have a lot to play for. So, I'm on the Warrior train here, 100%.
I heard just quickly before your multi, Chez, I heard next year they're only allocated 9 home games for the Warriors, which just doesn't seem right out of 25 rounds.
See, if it wasn't a professional sport, like
I can understand sponsors.
You'd almost offer to take your game against them back home.
Oh,
but
they need something. They need some either compensation or something like that to try and anyway. That's a discussion for another day. But I just didn't think that seemed right. I'm going to go the Titans.
I'm going the Titans too. I was just feeling about that for some reason. It took me a while to do this multi. I'll just go on 3 anytime try scorers. Jesse Arthurs, David Fafita, and Beau Fermor. So leaning towards the Titans for that one. Those 3 anytimers are paying $15.81.
Good odds. I like that. Second game of Super Saturday is the Dragons up against the Broncos. Now, this one does have consequences. Saturday, 5:30 at Netstrata Jubilee Stadium. Head-to-head, Dragons are the outsiders, even though they are at home. $2.35, $1.60 for the Broncos. If you do like them, the line is set at 4.5, $1.85 at the plus for the Dragons, or $1.95 at the minus for the Broncos. All these odds thanks to Top Sport, as always. Boys, the Broncos, they're going off a cliff. Adam Reynolds going off early last week didn't help, but I don't think that would have made any difference in that game. They had, 52 or 53 or something put on them.
Something ridiculous like 66
they've had
missed tackles in 2 weeks.
113 points in the last 2 weeks put on them. They need to find something for this game to keep their finals hopes alive. It was 4 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago that they were in the top 4.
Yeah.
And now they're out of the 8. And if they don't win this, then they've got no chance of finals because Canberra will be in there.
I found their line formation seems to be out of whack when they have the ball. Don't know whether you boys
their structure, like when they've got the ball. Yeah,
Reynolds are going to give it to someone, and they're either too far forward or they're not expecting it. They're just sort of, and it's not his fault. They're either rushing the play or they're just not looking.
Yeah,
and it ends up being a ping pong fest, and there's balls going everywhere.
When you say that, I noticed last week against Parramatta, they were so offset with each other. There was no one gelled.
That's what I mean.
There was no fluency. They had a structural play where they'd pass the ball and the centre was about a metre behind the ball. Then reaching for the ball, A, dropping the ball on, B, by the time they regathered it, the old saying of give time to make time, hit them on the chest to give them more time, and they reckon that extra split second, by then they're getting shot down. And when you get big boys like Isaiah Papali'i, or the week before when you got people like Olam and stuff in front of you, trying to catch the ball at their fingertips, let alone looking at that bloke coming at you. So, mate, I reckon they're in hot water. And this is huge for them because if they can win, then they then put pressure on the Raiders who play last. And it's amazing what pressure can do. But boys, I'm going to go St. George.
Yeah, to both your points there, I feel a lot of that is because Pat Carrigan's not there. I'm not sounding him out to make it bad. It's actually a compliment that I'm trying to give him.
Yeah.
He is that link man in attack. He plays that Isaiah Yeo kind of style footy he has for the sort of the back half of this season, where he's that link man from the dummy half in the centre of the field out to the edges to the Reynolds or Mam or whoever might be playing 6. So I think that might be why they're a bit out there. But also in defence, he's that person that initiates that line speed. So the defence is what's been really letting them down the last couple of weeks.
Good leader.
His loss over the last 4 weeks, it might cost him the season. And again, I'm not having a crack at him for what he did, but it's more of a compliment as such, because without him, they've just been rudderless.
Absolutely.
So, a lot at stake. Quickly, boys, Dragons unchanged here. Broncos, Carrigan returns. So that's a big return for them. So hopefully they can improve on that. Cobbo's back as well after a little rest last week. I had no issues with that.
Fuck, are you serious?
I had no issues.
Mate, professional athlete.
Nah.
At 19 years old, at this time of the season, if they miss out on the finals, it's stuff like that are the reason why they miss out on the finals.
The reason I don't have an issue with it, and I'm happy, you can have your opinion, that's fine, because he got concussed in Origin. We don't know what effect, that was a fucking monster concussion that he received, and we don't know what effect that's had on him. Every footballer that you listen to who's been concussed will tell you that after you've been concussed, it takes it out, it fatigues you mentally and also physically. That's the reason why I don't have an issue with it, personally. But you can, like I said, have your opinion. That's fine.
100%.
And I do agree with that in a sense. But the only reason I'm giving him a bit of a leave pass is because of that monster concussion that he received in. We got no idea how that affects the brain.
Absolutely. But then again, next year don't play Origin. Don't risk it. No. That's. I'm being serious. Don't risk it happening again.
That was a crazy Origin though. Like, what do we have? 3 in the first 5 minutes. So, but that's the only reason why. And again, it wouldn't have saved that game last week if he played. Similar to Adam Reynolds being on, it still wouldn't have saved that game. So
it didn't look good, bud.
No, I agree. The optics don't look good, but I think sometimes we've kind of judged things on the surface and don't sort of start looking maybe a bit below it and just
get him on next week.
See what's going on. Branko Lee makes way, I think, there as well as I can read. So a few changes, and Ezra Mann cut.
Why?
Bryson Gamble back in. I don't know. That's a strange one to me, but maybe that goes back to what you were saying about that disconnect in attack as well. We're spending way too much time on this game, boys. I'm going to go the Broncos because they've got something to play for. You're going
us and George
Dragons. Ches, your multi.
Just quickly, read a stat. Wearing headgear is less effective for head knocks than not having headgear on.
Is that right?
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
All right.
Does that include in the bedroom? Or?
I'm going to lean towards the
Depends what head
Broncos.
you're covering.
And bouncing off what you said, I'd prefer to be playing after the Raiders game, knowing if they've won or lost. It just takes, if you know they've lost, you don't have so much pressure on you then. But unfortunately, they've got the first game. So I'm going to go Broncos for my tips, and I've gone Kurt Capewell and Ben Hunt anytime try scorers, and the Broncos to give a 4.5 start, and that's paying $26.55.
Juicy.
Nice. I like that one. Boys, what we'll do, we're just running a bit short of time here for this segment, so we'll take a quick break, come back, talk the other games, and also the Gurus multi. Stick around.
Having a bet on sport this week? Top this.
Whether you're into cricket and curling or golf and greyhounds, Top Sport will let you on for plenty. And with literally hundreds of markets from your own backyard to the international stage, Top Sport has you well covered. So if you want to get the top odds every time, bet with Top Sport.
Top that. Download the app today. Top Sport. Feel the excitement.
Don't let the game play you. Stay in control. Gamble responsibly.
All right, thanks for sticking around. We're going to hit the last 3 games here, and this one should have been a lot bigger than what it's going to be, but we've got the Cowboys up against the Panthers here, Saturday, 7:35, Queensland Country Bank Stadium up there in Townsville. Cowboys clear favourites here, $1.11. Head-to-head, the Panthers are $6.70. Might seem strange, we'll get that in a minute. The line is set at a massive 19.5, $1.90 each way. Cowboys at the minus, Panthers at the plus. And the reason for that line, boys, is the Panthers have rest basically their starting squad.
12 players.
Yeah, so hence why it's such a huge fluctuation in the head-to-head there, $1.11 to $6.70. Whether you like it or not, I think Penrith have earned the right to do that. Similar to what we said about Melbourne not wanting to get a suspension or something like that leading into the finals. Penrith can't risk injuries or suspensions as well. And they've earned the right. They've been the best team for 25 rounds. If you want to rest the players, by all means rest it. And that's what they've done. So we'll go through that list in a minute. I'll hit the Cowboys first, but Drinkwater is back at fullback. Hammer comes in at 5'8". And Tommy Dearden's been named. So look for that switch up there. I think he'll be playing after that ruptured testicle. I tell you what, tough as nails.
Tough as walnuts.
Yeah.
I reckon about 40 minutes all up he played with that.
Crazy.
They reckon it happened before half time.
Fucking hell. Cohen Hess suspended, Cotter starting prop, and Griffin Neem back in the side on the interchange bench there. But let me just go through the Panthers boys who they're resting. Dylan Edwards, Brian Toto, Stephen Crichton, Isaac Tago, Taylor May, Jerome Luai, Moses Leota, James Fisher-Harris, Viliama Kikau, and Isaiah Yeo rested. Appy Coruscant and Spencer Leniu are injured, so they're off as well. Charlie Staines. I'm not even going to go through who's coming in, but there's quite a few fringe first grade players, I'd say, that are coming in to replace all them. So it's basically a second string Panthers side that's going to be playing. I tell you what, if the Cowboys don't beat these Panthers by 20, what does that say for the Cowboys moving into the finals? It's going to head fuck them.
I watched the game last week when they played South. I found that second half, they just played boring, just straight up and down footy. It was just one off the ruck. They were just doing it for 3 or 4 plays in a row. Blind. Just like, wow, what are you doing? Spread it out. They just didn't try and create anything. I actually turned it off. There was about 10, 15 minutes left. I was like, no.
They've actually got something to play for.
I can't stay and watch this. This is my model. I'll get to it in a second, but I had trouble because of the odds. There's no value for the Cowboys. Yeah, let's take a huge margin. Yeah. But off recent form and the possibility, we don't know what the Panthers are like when they are missing people. Yeah. This could still be a close-ish game.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is the sort of time where you want to take that $6.50 bet and link it up with something else.
Just hope. Yeah. The Cowboys got second position to play for here, obviously depending on the Sharks and all that kind of stuff, but they've still got something to play for. Panthers can't improve as where they are finished, so hence why they're resting so many players. It's a tricky game to bet on. Not so much tricky to pick. I'm going to go the Cowboys just given the amount of people that are out. But as you said, it's a bit hard to find a bit of value there unless you're going to put in a try scorer from the Panthers or like you said, take that big margin. 19.5 is a big line though.
Yeah, big line for the Cowboys. Don't take anything away from the Cowboys. I think they're a terrific side and they deserve to be where they are, turning their season around from last year. But at the same time, it just seems to be something with the Penrith system. That's very similar to Melbourne. The lot of outs, but they still turn up and play quality football. But at home, with so many out, I'm gonna tip the Cowboys. It'll be a massive game for them. Also, that then could potentially, depending on how Newcastle play against Cronulla, they could depend on their result. Could determine who plays at home first week of the finals.
Yeah.
But I'll go Cowboys.
Cowboys for me. You're
yeah, I'll be going Cowboys in the tips too. I'll go on Murray Tulagi, Nanai, and the Hammer, Mr. Fido, all anytime try scorers, 8.46.
That's not too bad for 3 try scorers given the market, so I don't mind that.
The one I wanted to put on had some different. There was still 3 try scorers. It was Scotty Drinkwater and Felt were in there, and it was just low. It was just like, I need to sort of switch that up.
Yeah. That's Saturday done and dusted. Shifting our focus now to Sunday. Knights up against the Sharks. Sunday, 2 p.m, McDonald Jones Stadium there at Newcastle. Head-to-head, $6.25 if you like the Knights, $1.12 for the Sharkies. The line is a massive 18.5. $1.95 for the Knights at the plus or $1.85 for the Sharks at the minus. Keep an eye on this. Don't put your bet on until before the game because depending on what happens in that game previous that we just spoke about with the Cowboys, if the Cowboys lose, Sharks may rest some players here as well. Because
not a bad option.
They'll have second position wrapped up if the Cowboys lose. Can't see it happening, but just keep an eye on that. Made it hard for me to put a bet on just in case a few of these do get rested, but I'll get to that in a second. Sharks should win, boys.
Should do.
Will do.
The way Newcastle are playing, I just can't. I don't know where they're going wrong. It seems to be more places than one. I'm not exactly a professional coach either, so. But I think something they need to put this season in the bin and start again next year. I remember hearing comments, I think I've said it before, where they asked Kalen Ponga what brand of football they're playing. He didn't know if they were playing a defensive or an attacking or a balanced. And, mate, that's the captain. And arguably their number one player. So I think this could be Cronulla. And, mate, by how much, I think is the question.
Your thoughts the same?
Yeah, pretty much the same. I think this is going to be a Cronulla victory, and it'll be a double-figure margin for me.
Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping it is, boys, because I've gone for my multi Sharks 13+. Mulatalo to get across the line anytime. Nico Hines also there anytime, and Jesse Ramian. As I said, depending on who plays and all that kind of stuff, if they do rest players, I think one if they do rest will be Hines. But at this stage, he's playing, and I put him in there. $8.48 So 4 legs, $8.48. I was pretty happy with that, given who they're playing and the opposition. I looked for a try scorer in Newcastle. The only one I thought about putting in was Edric Lee, Booker Lee. But I just couldn't do it. Just couldn't bring myself to do it. So I'd like to see what the price is.
He got one last week.
Be held to nil, to be honest.
So he did.
Was it him or Dominic Young?
Booker Lee got one, I'm pretty sure.
Last game of the round, boys. Last game of the regular season, should I say. And this one could decide our top 8. Tigers versus the Raiders, Sunday 4:05pm. So Leichhardt Oval is the venue here. $3.80 for the Tigers, $1.27 for the Raiders, who are clear favourites here. The line is set at 12.5. $1.90 each way, plus for the Tigers, minus for the Raiders. As I said, I can't remember in recent history the very last game of the season actually meaning something. Usually it's the Tigers against the Dogs, or the Warriors against who else is Knights or someone like that, you know what I mean? But this one isn't going to be the greatest game, but at least it means something. I'm still going to tune in to see if the Raiders are going to make the top 8, to be honest. That's my thoughts on the game. Tigers, boys, James Tarmo returns with the good bloke defence after his spray on the ref a couple of weeks ago. Musgrove's bench. Mamalo is back in, as well as Garner in the centres there for the Tigers. As for the Raiders, boys, Nick Kotrick is named to return again, but Hopewate is being pushed back to the reserves. But keep an eye on that. I think he's might not be good to go, Kotrick, so Hopewate might get another start. Other than that, they're unchanged.
I can't help but think maybe last year or the year before, were the Raiders in a very similar position and they failed, where they had to win maybe a week or 2 weeks out from the end of the final series.
They were very close last year.
There was something very similar in them circumstances where they needed to win and they lost, whether it was in the last round or the round before that. But I think this will be a massive drive for them. But then again, too, as we said before, mate, if Brisbane win, the whole pressure of the world's on them, and that is the last game everyone's going to be watching.
Yeah. The good thing for the Raiders is if the Brisbane do win, Raiders have got a much better for and against, and beating Manly like they did last week really helped that. So Broncos have to win by a big margin.
And the fact that Brisbane have had 113, so take their 4s. They probably had 90 points put on them.
Yeah, it hasn't been a couple of good weeks for them where it has been for the Raiders. So if both teams win, Raiders will be in the top 8 with that better for and against, unless something dramatic happens and Broncos win by 106 or something like that.
Gotcha.
But, as you said, there is still is pressure on them if the Broncos do win. If Broncos don't win, all the pressure's gone to Canberra in the top 8 as it stands on for and against. So a lot's going to ride. I think they'll be watching that game very closely.
What was that?
Fucking ghosts.
Is there a Chucky dolly somewhere?
The dog choking, I think.
Yeah.
Holy, that was fucking spinning me out.
Thoughts, Ches, on the game?
I think Raiders are going to do them in either way. Even if they do have a shot, or if they don't, the old West Turnstiles, as I call them now, I think they have a chance in hell. I was reading this thing, someone worked it out before last week's game. For Tigers not to get the spoon, Titans had to lose, but they had to score something ridiculous, like had to have a winning margin of 76 points over the last 2 games. And that just shows how crap they have been playing. Good luck to all the Raiders fans out there.
I thought it was someone's chair.
I think this is going to be a big margin too. This will be up there, like a 20 to 30 point margin there for the Raiders.
We come back to saying, same as the Broncos stuff, they actually got something to play for, whereas Tigers don't, except for a bit of pride. But hey, I've gone the
pride's all but gone.
Yeah, I've gone Raiders head-to-head. Raiders to win the first half. Hudson Young and Corey Harawira-Naira also to get across the line. So the 2 big second rowers out there on each edge. $10.38 if you do like that one.
Is Harawira-Naira, is he starting? Because he was named a couple of weeks ago to start, but they end up changing very late to him coming off the bench. He only played about 10 minutes.
He's coming off the bench, but I can see him still getting over with that impact. He'll play more than 10 minutes.
I like it.
$10.38. Thanks to Top Sport. All right, one last thing to do, boys. That's wrapped up the regular season. We're done and dusted for the podcast for another regular season. We've still got the finals to come. Don't worry, we're not going anywhere. But we've got the Gurus multi. Now, he's been a bit off the last few weeks, I must say, but He's gone something pretty solid here. I actually really like the look of this myself, and I was actually going to claim it, but I thought I'd better just put his name to it. But anyway, he's gone 3 legs. He's gone under 43.5 points in the Eels Storm game. So we mentioned earlier it's going to be a defensive game. Dogs Manly game, he's gone under 53.5 points. And Alex Johnson, anytime try scorer, $5.88.
I like that, actually.
The good thing about this is, come Friday night, it'll be all over. You have money for the weekend because of the first three games
straight
so
up.
that's what I really liked about this too. So get on big and you'll have plenty of coin to send over the
Spring
weekend.
Carnival horse racing's coming up. He's only looking after himself.
Oh, Guru, we do love him. So that's going to be the Guru's final multi for the regular season. We'll still keep him on for the finals. Don't you worry about that. Done and dusted, boys.
That's it, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anything else? Any other shout-outs?
Bring on the finals, baby. Let's go.
I can't wait.
Don't forget your tips. Obviously, the last round. And if you haven't done your the Joker round, make sure you use that this week as well.
Last time you can use it. Yeah. We're still got to do our winners for last month as well as this month. We keep forgetting. We'll do that next week, and we'll shout out the winners of that. But yeah, coming to the sticky end, boys. I think we're all out of the prize money, unfortunately. So we'll have to be paying out a bit. But
mate, I'm the admin. I'll fucking put myself in there.
up the ladder. All right, that's it.
That's it. Let's do it, baby. Let's finals.
Round 25. Enjoy the football this week. If you do have a bet, please do so responsibly. And as always,
don't eat your soup with a fork.
We'll catch you next week.